Hi, I'm Joel Hastings with Dairy Business and Holstein World. We're here at the California Holstein and Jersey Show talking with Cornell Kasbergen, longtime dairy producer and cattle breeder with both Jerseys and Holsteins here in California. Cornell was telling us that he recently took a trip to the Midwest in Minnesota and was pretty impressed by some of the things he saw there. Cornell, tell us about your trip.
Well, I took a trip back a couple weeks ago to see or just help with the new program that Land O'Lakes is rolling out with the base program. And what I saw was a whole different environment for what we're experiencing here in California. A lot of enthusiasm about the industry, a lot of people wanting to expand, and a lot of concern with the base program that Land O'Lakes is going to implement. But it was kind of like going back in time 20 years ago in California when there was 3 to 5% growth in California. And now we see that growth taking place in Minnesota and the surrounding states.
It is exciting times there. Tell us a little bit about the situation here in California. We know that you and other cooperative leadership was very active last fall in supporting the asking for a hearing, a USDA hearing on implementing a federal milk marketing order here in California, which is really a historic development. Tell us a little bit about what you and your fellow California dairymen are dealing with here in the state.
Well, we dealt with a drought with the drought we had the last 2 to 3 years, but really it's as I explained to the farmers in the dairy farmers in Minnesota, it was not only a drought of water, but it was a drought of money. And what we're seeing is the effects of that lower milk prices than what the federal orders have is a decrease of 3 to 5% a year that is really unprecedented. And I think it's a long-term trend that we're going to be on for some time to come, given the economics and the environmental concerns, and then just recently the $15 an hour wage increase that's going to take effect in 2022. So a lot of negative factors influencing production here in California.
And that lower percent you just mentioned was California state milk production. You're not talking about the price moves around, the prices drop, but that percentage reduction was in the state's milk production. Is that right?
Right. You know, if you look, we've lost 8 to 10% of our milk production in over a 2-year time period, which most people don't realize what's happened. We're having negative year-over-year production, and which is kind of unprecedented in California. So it's not a very good situation. We need some kind of price relief, and we're hoping to get it through the federal order process, but hopefully with lower milk production and excess plant capacity, we'll see some premiums, and we're starting to see that happening. People are getting wooed and moved around by higher milk prices from other competitors.
Thank you. You shared with us that back in the Midwest, you explained your experience here in California as you and other dairymen have worked with base plans, and you helped them and tried to help them be less concerned about what the quota might mean. Just share a little bit of what you shared with them.
Well, in 2008, California implemented it was the first time we implemented base programs, and the reason for it was we were hauling milk, long distances. Let's say if milk was $12, we'd pay $8 to haul it, and for a net of $4 a hundredweight, and it just didn't make any sense. And so we put a base program in, and it doesn't mean the end of expansion. In fact, California reached its peak in 2014, so there is growth after base. And as I explained to some of our members in Minnesota, there's life after base. So it's not the end of growth, and I think it's just more a managed growth to manage the plant capacity to meet what the market is demanding.
Thank you. One other question I'd like to ask. I know at your dairy you've recently been involved with an aggressive embryo program. You're implementing more genomic testing. Tell us a little bit about some of the breeding and reproduction programs you've got going on at your dairy.
So we started on our Jersey adventure in 2011, and that brought us to a decision on how to get our genetics build up our genetics at a rapid pace. And one of the ways to do it was through IVF, or in vitro fertilization. And we began a program with Transova in 2011 where we sent donor cows back to Iowa and the embryos back to California. Then in 2014 we became a satellite center for Transova, and now we aspirate 6 to 10 of our own animals every 2 weeks, and then anywhere from 10 to 20 outside donors. And so we're making rapid progress, and we're genomic testing all of our animals, and we've had some success and some failures, obviously, but just last year at the All-American sale, we were able to syndicate one of our bulls for $120,000, which we were very excited to do, given that we've made quite an investment in our genetic program.
Thank you. Cornell Kasbergen from Rancho Teresita in Tulare, California.